I will say Beto's success will determine how well he does in the most important state in the Democratic primary, and that's South Carolina. That will be the real test for him.
Is that just the most important
By the way,
state, by the way? Just the
I don't
most
know if we can get a little
important
zoom in on the
I was gonna
pin,
say,
but we got
you
the
know,
Palmetto tree
South
right
Carolina,
there.
most important everything.
No,
right?
no. Seriously,
It
it's
is
the most
important.
important state in the Democratic primary. 60% of the
that.
people will be African American, 55% women. It will be the first test for campaign structure, campaign infrastructure, and messaging, and the most loyal voting bloc in our party, and that's the African American vote.
Lauren, I've said that Beto O'Rourke is an Aaron Sorkin character mixed with a yoga teacher. I take that back. He is an Aaron Sorkin character mixed with a soul cycle instructor. For those of you who have ever, I will amend that. I basically just wanted to repeat that. But what do you think of Beto O'Rourke?
I think there's a lot of hype, and he's going to burn early.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
6 million, though. I
yeah,
mean.
6 million. But I think that that's because people right now he's very undefined, and I think a lot of people think that they're projecting what they want.
Well, that's the only
onto
similarity,
him.
by the way, that I actually do see with Obama is that his ideology, it was more personal charisma and narrative than it was specific policies,
Well,
at least
but
in the
he was
beginning.
very specific on the Iraq War, and that was important at that time.
Here's the thing.
And I think
Obama was.
Yeah, and he's very specific on immigration on this issue, right? Like, I mean, a lot of the hype that he gets is because he's from El Paso, and he can do the counter rally and be the counter to a lot of Trump's harsher immigration rhetoric, and I think that also endears him to the Democratic
His
base.
Medicare for more, not Medicare for all proposal also is a more realistic option. A lot of people, Medicare for all sounds better, but Medicare for more is like getting you closer to it without completely destroying the economy.
He has some very pragmatic policy positions that I think will resonate. But here's what I want people to remember. Money doesn't always translate to motivating voters.
Oh, Jeb Bush?
$100 million, one delegate.
That's one thing. And then, you know, there was a lot of anger and pistivity, if that's a word, towards him, towards Ted Cruz. We have to ensure, or Beto has to make sure that translates to voters and caucuses around the country and primaries. We don't know if that's transferable.
Who do you think is set up to do well in South Carolina, and who is resonating? I mean, you don't want to say the African American community as if it's one block, but who do you think is having particular resonance right now?
I think so far, based on what I'm told, the big three, or based on what I feel, of course, Biden has not entered the race. I suspect it's coming. I think he has some long-standing relationships. There was a poll that came out to talk about his popularity. I think Booker and Harris are running neck and neck, notch and notch, because of simply their organization structure in South Carolina. So I think at this point, they are really making headlines and headways in South Carolina. But it's still early. And what I do know is that each candidate, as you said, has not been defined yet. We haven't heard them flush out messages to this point. And we don't know who's going to make it to South Carolina. In this race, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Direction is more important than speed. And the people in the race now will not be in the race by the time we get to South Carolina.